Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the Starline by a powerhouse woman who's lived 9 lives, each one more impressive than the last. But she was conned, now on a mission of justice. Her podcast is Once Upon a Con. We welcome Caroline D'Amore.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
Caroline, let's go beyond the mic. You've been a businesswoman, DJ, actress, fashion model. How did your search for justice as a crusader begin?
Well, I had to go through a very difficult time in my life where I was conned by somebody who I really thought was a mentor and a friend and posing as an investor for my company, Pizza Girl. So it was very difficult, but ultimately, I'm happy that I was the one it happened to, weirdly. I know that sounds crazy, but I was strong enough to dig myself out of the situation and fight back. So maybe everything happens for a reason.
Now, once you confronted David, how did exposing him as a manipulator and predator make you feel?
I took a while to do it, to be honest. I had hoped that the police and that the justice system would, come. I immediately recorded a lot of his crimes once I found out what was happening, kind of went undercover, if you will. And I gave that all to the police, hoping that they would do something. And, too much time had gone on. I had, seen him out and about and hearing that he was at all these fabulous galas and all these parties with a lot of my friends. And I was like, this is not okay. So I finally just sat up in bed one night and I wrote out my entire story. And that post went a bit viral. A lot of people reached out and were like, oh my God, this man is in my phone. Oh my God, this has just happened to me. The amount of people that he was able to do this to in such a short period of time was very shocking, and I was happy to be the voice of the voiceless.
What do you want people learning in Once Upon a Con so they don't get taken?
It's very difficult because when you are a good person, you will not see this coming. You will just assume that people are good people, so it's very difficult. I think really it's hard to protect yourself, but definitely do your research on who your new best friend is, and also have other people kind of validate, who this person is. I know that's sad, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that come after the really kind and vulnerable. At the time, I was a, recently divorced single mom who was trying to get her company off the ground. And, he really played on all those heartstrings, came to me like, I'm going through a divorce too, and this and that. So what I do say is, listen, it's common. I think a lot of people know somebody who has been conned at this point in their lives, but a lot of people don't speak up about it. So what I'm trying to do is erase the stigma. We're not the ones that need to be ashamed. They need to be ashamed. So I think that the more we speak up, the more we can help spread awareness, and the less easy this will be for everyone to do.
Host of Once Upon a Con, Caroline D'Amore, joins us beyond the mic. And Caroline, it's time for the Rockin' 8. 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. There's no pressure.
Okay.
Do you know where your New York International Film and TV Festival gold medal for rollers is?
Oh my God, that's hilarious. No. Maybe in my... actually, sadly, I think it was burnt down in the fires here in Los Angeles.
Oh no.
Yeah, my dad's house is gone.
How many pies did you deliver to firefighters fighting the California wildfires?
Thousands.
Very cool. Most underrated pie that you love?
Pepperoni, pineapple, and jalapeno.
Interesting. You once said, quote, people are always saying to follow your dreams. So I went back to sleep, unquote. Do you dream? And what was your last dream of?
Oh, yeah. I dream all the time. I'm a huge manifester. I see my company and where it's going and where it's going to be, and everything I've ever manifested has come true in one crazy way or another.
Caroline, which flavor of your Pizza Girl sauces is your favorite?
The arrabbiata. I like it spicy.
What's the best thing about your daughter, Bella?
Well, today she's going to be performing for the fire relief efforts, and it's her first big performance, and her heart and soul goes into these songs that she sings, and she's only 9 years old. So I think just watching her shine is really special.
What's the one thing you want your daughter to learn from your life?
Always stand up for others. Always be brave.
You used to be a DJ, so what's your favorite 3 songs to mix?
Ooh, that's so difficult at this stage of life, because now it's Such a past of mine. I really like old school music mixed with new age beats. So I don't know. That's a real hard one. I used to do like a lot of like, Whitney Houston, but mixed with a house beat, I was into the house dance, but with lyrics we all know. So yeah.
Let's sneak in a couple more with Once Upon a Con's Caroline Diamore Beyond the Mic. Which episode got you a little bit emotional recording?
Wow. The first 3 episodes are very difficult because you actually hear me in my worst state. My business partner started recording when I was finding out, to be honest. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's wild. You actually hear everything. We started recording everything. That's why I think this podcast really stands out. It's not just talking about what happened. It is what happened. You also hear confronting him. So it's wild.
How has this experience changed the way you trust others?
I still am very trusting. I think now I just trust myself more. I listen to my gut a lot more, and I don't just lead with hope. I lead with hard work and realities a bit more. I have boundaries.
Why is your heart filled with hope?
It's funny, actually. I think that when you help others and turn your struggles into a way to help others, it heals you, and it gets the other person to then lead with hope as well. It's kind of magnetic, and it carries on. So I know it sounds a little LA, but it's the truth, man. When you lead with love, others, tend to get stronger and do the same.
What will justice for David mean to you? I
think it will help others to, speak up as well, remove the stigma of being conned. It doesn't make you, not smart or ignorant. It just means that you're a good, trusting person. And we need to flip that stigma onto the con men, and not on us.
It's time for One Big Question with Caroline Diamore. Caroline, how has overcoming adversity helped you become stronger every day?
I was born into struggle. So, my first few years were very difficult. So I think, it's just made me stronger. It's just made me more loving, and it's just made me happy to help as many people as possible with my tiny blip of existence that I get left on this earth.
She's filled with love for family, food, and justice. She wants you to listen to Once Upon a Con. Caroline Diamore, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that, my friends, is a Beyond the Mic shortcut. If you're enjoying these conversations, please check out another Beyond the Mic episode to find more actors, artists, and people you need to know. We'd also appreciate a like and subscribe on the Good Pods app.